Welcome to the Social Changemakers Podcast. I am your host, Khalilah Denney, and today we have another sweet treat for you. My good girlfriend, I could call her my sister. We've grown up from the sandbox, I would say. And she is another social change maker here in our community. Mrs. Monique Davis, Dr. Monique Davis, RN. Yes, welcome to the Social Changemakers Podcast.
I'm so grateful for the opportunity to come and just share and to hang out with you. And
yes.
It'll just be like, two friends hanging out and having a good time.
That's exactly what it is.
So Thank you for letting me volunteer myself to be on your podcast, because I saw the little clips and I was like, okay, I see you doing it big, but you always do it big.
Oh, thank you.
You have so many endeavors that you do, and I'm so very proud of the journey that you're on. And I tell her this off the camera, so it's not like something that's just for this.
Yeah.
But you have dreams in your heart, and you have visions in your heart, and you manifest them.
Yeah.
You bring them to light. And it's just amazing to see.
Oh, thank you.
So I just want to give a plug. We went on a conference many years ago, probably 12, 13 years ago.
TD Jakes Leadership Conference.
Leadership Conference.
Yeah.
And while we were there was a whole service component. And you were just so ignited and passion and I want to do this right now. And I was like, let's do it. Go for it. Not only did you take it and go forward from there, you built so many other ways to support the community.
Yeah.
And just to have the love in your heart that you give to so many is just very commendable.
Well,
so
thank you.
I celebrate you for all that you do.
I celebrate you, sis. Thank you so much. Well, I'm just going to cut in because even though I appreciate all the love, I want to show you some love. You have been, a mentor for me, I would say, maybe from afar, for sure, just watching your life and watching how you move, watching how you operate, how you have raised your two beautiful children, your career, the fact that you've been in school for like ever, but it's you finally done, right? But you've just been inspiring me all my life. With us, being so close and having the same godmother, grandmother. Not grandmother, godmother. And she has, brought so many good people into my life, but I must say you're one of the most special people that she has brought to my life. So I'm just thankful to know you. I'm thankful to have you and to be able to call you my sister. And I know God has so much more in store for you. And just where you are today, I'm gonna let you share that. I'm not gonna tell them all about it. They know all about me, but we're gonna give them a chance to learn who Mrs. Monique Davis, Dr. Monique Davis is today.
All right, so first of all, we're not going to let our eyes sweat as we get started on the podcast, because we're supposed to be taking care of business, not overly emotive.
Yes.
So,
but it's okay. It's okay.
It is.
Tell us who you are today, Monique. Tell us, your success story, how you would want the audience to see you as a social change maker today.
Okay. All right. So where I am today, I'm Monique Davis. I serve as Dean of Health Sciences and Director of Nursing at Montgomery College. And I have been a nurse for 24 years, a registered nurse for 24 years. Pediatric nursing was my background. And I got into academia or teaching in 2005. My first full-time faculty job was at Howard University. So shout out to the HU family and the Meccas, they call themselves. Yeah. And then I transitioned to work at a community college. And when I did so, I got a lot of questions. You're leaving a prestigious university. I worked at Georgetown and I worked at Howard, and you're going to work at a community college? And I said, that's where I'm called to go. Yeah. I'm going to go. And now, truthfully, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
I know that's right.
So it was a win-win for both of us.
Right.
And so I started at Montgomery College in 2007. And I was a full-time faculty member teaching nursing. And over the course of my 17 years there, I have advanced to being associate dean, and now I'm dean of health sciences and director of nursing. So
phenomenal.
I know, isn't it amazing? Like, what?
And you're so young. I'm just saying, that's a great accomplishment.
Yes. So my role there, I'm responsible for all allied health programs, and nursing is our largest program there. But this is not a commercial for Montgomery College. I do think that is one of the best institutions that we have in this country, and how we educate and prepare the next generation of healthcare professionals. So that's who I am today. That's one snippet of who I am today. The other snippet of who I am today is I'm a young mom, as Kay eloquently put how young I am.
Yeah.
But I have a son that's going to be graduating college in May, and I have a daughter who will be graduating high school. And so I've very much cherished my role as mother. That role encompasses everything. And I always wanted to have children and have a family. And so to experience all of those things that I did with them really shapes who I am today, because my employment decisions and my educational decisions all centered around what I needed to do to be the best mom for them.
Yeah.
The third piece of who I am and who I'm finding myself to be is a sister and a friend. When you devote so much time to your children, some of those pieces fall off because your kids' priorities may overshadow with their sports activities and their church activities, and then their friends take up all of the time. And so to now reconnect and, really spend time with people who were in my sandbox and making new friends and just seeing where the next phase of my life goes. And
that seems like it's the hardest part as we get older, is making new friends, right? Reconnecting. But making new friends is always the hardest part.
Yeah. It is hard. And it's like, well, do I trust this person? Where did they come from? But, part of growing and learning is also exploring new things. And so part of being a servant and being an encourager and being a giver, some people kind of get drawn to your energy and get drawn to you. So that part of it is not that hard. The hard part is making sure that you have those respectful boundaries and exactly. So and Kay knows this all too well, because she's an extreme giver. She will give you everything that she has, and sometimes you have to be mindful that you may want to give more than what that person has even had the capacity to receive.
That is true.
And that person has to be ready to receive, whether it's the love, whether it's instruction, whether it's guidance, whether it's support. We can't want it more than they do.
That is true, because they will drain you.
Absolutely.
They will drain you of all of it, and you won't have anything left for yourself, or your family, or anybody else.
You got that right.
So I am learning that. I'm learning it. I've learned it the hard way. I'm still struggling with it, but I'm stay in prayer on that for myself. One of the things I know, to me it's obvious. To those who know you, it's obvious. But you're a child of God. You are someone who really, really do practice what you preach when it comes to your faith. And let's just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So I had a champion in my life. My grandfather, my mother's father, was a very strong foundation in my spiritual journey. He's the one that introduced me to my faith journey. And so my grandfather is the Reverend Dr. Isaac Alston.
That's right.
He is a giant of a man, and just really allow God to shape him and mold him. We all have a past. We all have baggage that we bring with us, but he tried his very best to really model if I could help someone along the way on their journey. And those are kind of the principles that he instilled in me. And so when I was about 12, like I had been going to church all my life, but when I was about 12, that's when I really felt the move, and I got baptized, and my granddad baptized me, and it was a very special moment. And but I want to back up just a little bit. So Kay mentioned our godmom and Miss Annie Glover. Miss Annie Glover has been in my life since I was 3 years old. So I call her my other mother.
Other mother,
Never in the presence of my other mother. But I do cherish my relationship with Annie. Sometimes I call her Anime Bullock. Sometimes I call her Annie. Sometimes I fuss at her about taking care of herself. And whenever I need anything,
Yeah.
She's never too far away.
That is true.
And so she reminds me very often, she remembers the day my granddad and I came to her apartment for the first time. And I was 3 years old. And that was just the kind of guy he was. He connected me with so many beautiful people.
Yeah.
And so on this journey of life, Miss Annie was at very pivotal moments throughout my journey.
Yeah.
And my grandfather as well. She would come to my school program. She would come to my cheer competitions. She introduced me to so many of her family and friends. And we really believed the principle of it takes a village to raise a kid. And so just to give a backdrop, my mom was 17. My dad was 19 when I came along. And my grandmother passed not even a year after I was born.
Wow. Okay.
And so I was born 78. My grandmother passed in July. My grandmother passed April of 79. And so my mom is 18. She has a 14-year-old sister.
Wow.
And she has an almost 1-year-old baby. So when you think about where I am now, it is unbelievable to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
It has to be the favor of God. It has to be the prayers of those who came before me. On my ancestors' shoulder I stand.
And the angels he sent.
And the angels he sent to encamp around me.
That's
and
right.
So I should be a statistic.
Yeah.
I should be.
And you
a
are.
Teenage mom. I'm a good statistic.
There
I
you
am
go.
a good
Good say the word. Statistic.
All right. So, but you know, and it's from the principles that my granddad shared with me. It wasn't so much just about learning about Jesus. It was also learning fundamental principles of life.
Yeah.
Manage your money. Give, pay your tithes, do your offering, give. You can never outgive God.
Right.
The more you pour, the more you'll receive. It'll be pressed down, shaken together, running over. And
yes.
I just know for a fact that those were things that he instilled in me.
Yeah.
He instilled a strong emphasis on education from a young man who only finished the 11th grade.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But
But you would never have known that.
You would have never
He
known
was
that.
so eloquent
Yes,
with
he
his
was.
speech. You just when you were in his presence, you just felt like he was the elite. You could educated, all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
And then the people, that who knew him and knew him well spoke so highly of him. So that's it's just a testament of who he was.
Yeah, so he
or
was
who
like,
he is.
Who he is, yes, because he's still here in our hearts.
Yes, he is.
And so education was really big for him, and he was just like, your giftings and things are in you, and when you go to school, that's the can opener, and it will open up what's already in you, so
That's
that you
right.
could use whatever you need. But everything you need is already in you, and so that was just a beautiful reflection of the principles that he would share with me. So he was like, go on and go to school. Keep going. And so I went
and you kept going.
I kept going. I went to University of Delaware and got my undergraduate degree, and I got a bachelor's of science in nursing. And throughout the process of going to school, I worked as a certified nursing assistant.
Yeah.
And
you were the nurse in the church too.
I was a nurse at church as well. Absolutely. Doing CPR classes and first aid and all of that good stuff. And, I was really impressed with a champion. Her name's Mary Eliza Mahoney, and she's the first Black professional nurse.
Oh, okay.
And so we had to
Eliza
dig back.
Mahoney.
Eliza Mahoney.
Okay.
And so I remember I had to do a paper in undergrad about, an influential nurse that we had to research and do a research paper on. And Mary Eliza Mahoney was one that I researched, because I was just like, I was at a predominantly white institution, and I needed to learn more about my history.
Yeah.
And so I learned about her and her journey in becoming a professional nurse. And I was on the journey to become a professional nurse. And so, so that's what I did. And so finished my nursing career, and then I came home and I took care of my granddad for a little while. Then I got married and had, all these babies, my son and my daughter, they're just beautiful souls. And I went to work. I worked at Children's National Medical Center, which is now Children's Medical Center, or Children's National now.
Children's National.
Yeah, they've changed their name a couple times. And so I worked on the hematology oncology unit. And I remember when I first would tell people, I was a pediatric nurse. oh, you get to work with all the babies.
Right.
Yes, I do, but I got to work with one of the sickest populations, our sickle cell patients and our patients with cancer. And so it does take a special person to be a nurse, but it takes a special nurse to work in each of the specialty areas.
That's right.
And I'm not one to work with our geriatric population. I prefer smaller diapers versus bigger diapers. So pediatrics was my home. Yeah. And I remember the very first time that I got to experience a bone marrow transplant.
Oh wow, on a baby?
On a toddler.
On a toddler, wow.
Yes, so the baby was in the hospital for probably 90 days because we had to wipe out their whole immune system. And then we gave the bone marrow transplant, and they have to wait for a while till their body accepts it and regenerates their immunity. And I just remember just being in awe of how long it took for that process to go forward. Yeah. But when it was time to hang the bone marrow into an IV bag into his body, it only took moments. But the preparation and the stuff you had to do on the back end was going to be lengthy. And I learned a really good lesson in that season.
What was that?
God has a miracle for you.
Yes, He does.
And it's going to happen fast.
Come on now.
But there's a process before and there's a process after to maintain that miracle. And so if we're talking about being change agents, sometimes we want change to happen fast.
That's right.
And God moves. He moves swiftly. But some things He had to prepare us for first.
That's right.
And then He has to make sure that we have the support we need on the back end.
Amen.
So that's who I am now. That's the journey I'm on. That's a little bit about how I got to where I am. And I decided I was going to go back on and get my master's degree.
You going back?
No.
Oh, no.
This is okay.
I'm sorry.
No. I got my master's degree.
You got it already. I thought you was going to get another one.
No. So after a couple of years, I went on because I found that I was always nice to the new nurses, and they work with Monique. She's nice. She'll take care of you. She's kind.
Yeah.
Because the word on the street is that nurses eat their young, but that is not true.
That's not true.
That is not true.
Okay.
That is not true. Some people in every profession are a growly Gus, but that's not the story of all of us.
Yeah, that's true.
We're here. We want to be change agents to help our patients and their families, and for the next generation of nurses coming behind.
That's right.
So, work with Monique. She'll take you under her wing. You'll be fine. And then I found that I was helping the students that were coming through on the units. I said, well, let me see what this is all about. So I became a clinical instructor, and that's how I got the taste of doing education. And I remember, every day that I would go to work, I would care for maybe 5 patients a day. Okay. So I'm touching 5 lives each day. Right. But then when I started working with students, and if I have 8 or 10 students in clinical with me, I'm now touching 50 people.
That's right, because now
it's exponential.
That's right.
And so if I'm sharing good practices and I'm sharing kindness and I'm sharing love, I'm not just touching these 5. I'm now touching 50 people in this day. And so that's how exponential the changing needs to be.
That's right.
Just because I impact 1 and you pay it forward and you impact 3 other people, it just continues to grow. And I think that's what's so important about being change agents in our community, because some people think one person can't make a difference, but one person can make a world of difference. And because if you're making a difference in the life of just one person, you don't know what impacts that's going to have on that person and whom they're going to encounter.
That is true. That's true. So it's almost, and I don't want to mess it up because I know I will. But there's a young lady who, she had this little sermon. It's like a little mini sermon where she talked about God's math. Well, how 1 can chase 1,000, but 2 can chase 10,000.
Yes,
that's the same concept. You know what I mean? If you send one person out here who is, able to touch a life, and then that person goes and touches all these lives, then the impact just continues to grow. I'm in awe of you. I know that nurses are. I feel like the backbone of the medical system. You know what I mean? I think we need more nurses. We definitely need more people who are caring and can put their hands on people and give them the sense of hope and encouragement that they need, and the healing. I'm not a big fan of medicine or anything like that, but I am definitely a fan of just the joy someone brings to your situation. And I think a lot of times, if you get the right nurse, if you get the right person in your room, because I've been hospitalized a couple times, and especially when giving birth to my boys, it just made such a difference with the attitude, the fact that they every time I was able to get a crew of nurses who were all God fearing, willing to pray for you if you asked. I know you sometimes have to keep that kind of stuff out of it, but they didn't care because they knew that, I love God, and I was stressed, and I'm, dealing what I'm dealing with. But it's just important that we have more people like you, more people coming up, serving, those who have health challenges and taking care of our little babies.
I know, and our grannies. There's a whole bunch of nurses out there who take care of our seniors, and I'm very thankful for them. Yeah, that is just not my thing. So
one of my other girlfriends, that's what she does. She's a registered nurse, but she likes to do the seniors, taking care of them as they're in hospice, which is another hard thing to do. Shout out to Amanda. She is our former board member at the Denney House. Board president. She is still a board member. I'm sorry.
Clean that up.
I had to clean that up. But yes, she has, shown me how important it is to have nurses in our community for the seniors and for our babies and for all of those in between. Yep. So with that, I know we've talked about your granddad and we've talked about your education and kind of how you've gotten to where you are today. But I want to just make sure that we, package up your why. I think I heard a little bit of it as you were speaking, but I really want to understand why you do the work that you do from a lens of, is it granddaddy or is it mom or how? Why are you doing what you're doing today?
So why I do what I do, what makes me tick, what makes me get up in the morning, and what makes me, get motivated to, go on a life journey. And part of it is, it's what's in me. Once you connect and really figure out who you are and what purpose you serve in the earth, and what calling is on your life, then you can operate and move in the things that you're supposed to be doing.
That's right.
And so I knew that I wanted to care for people. I knew that I'm a kind person. Don't catch me on a bad day, or don't, take me over the edge. Because there's always the other side of, because, if you got a spectrum, if I'm always over here in the good zone, I'm sure the pendulum is not going to swing the way they want it to. Because just as wonderful and loving as I am, I can be just as cold and calloused on the other. So we all know who we are. And so once you know who you are, then you can understand what it is that you need to do and how you need to operate. And so it brings me joy to encourage others. When I needed encouragement, were there people to encourage me? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But what's in me, why I do it, why I get up in the morning, I know that if I can help someone along the way, I might can't solve all your problems. When I'm caring for patients or I'm taking care of my students and they're struggling and they fail in classes and all of those things, I might can't change your grade, but I can make sure that I can connect you to people to get you help, or I can connect you to, or give you some encouraging word, or tell you a little trick or something that you can do so that you can learn better, or you can embrace your situation a little better. And not giving false hope and saying, oh yeah, you're gonna be an A student next week. No, sometimes you get a C and you worked really hard for that C and you good to go. Just like sometimes you're gonna have health challenges. Some days you're gonna do right by your diet. Some days you're gonna have a cheat day.
That's right.
So, life has to have those balances. And so, some people are motivated by what happens with the applause and the outside. Most of what I do, no one knows.
No one knows about it. That's right.
The left hand often does not know what the right hand is doing. And Kay knows this very well, that I always have somebody's child. I have loved so many babies. I have such room and capacity for love. And I truly believe it is because when I came into this world, I had that. My whole neighborhood embraced me. My whole family embraced me. My mother's side, my father's side. Everyone has shown me love. And it would be sinful for me not to extend a hand back to others. Because I know on so many occasions, people will walk up to me and just, I know you're a broke college student, and put a little love in my hands. Or, hey, I can't give you anything, but know that I'm praying for you.
Yeah.
Or, you know, hey, Monique, how you doing today? Just something as simple as that.
Yeah.
Walking in the store, giving somebody a smile. You don't lose anything by being kind.
That is so true.
And, you know, when we were growing up, children were to be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
Speak when spoken to. And if you don't have nothing nice to say, you keep your mouth shut.
That's right.
And that principle right there is so very important. Because I know there are many times where people don't realize how hurtful their words can be. And it's like we used to say when we were little, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is so untrue. That is so untrue. Sometimes I wish people had hit me with sticks and stones instead of the words that they hit me with.
Right, because it lasts longer.
It absolutely lasts longer. And so that's part of the why as well.
Yeah.
When you get hit with a 1-2 punch and you're like, but what did I do? Did I really deserve this? And then it's like, well, God gives his biggest challenges to his toughest soldiers. Yeah. I don't want to be tough. I don't want that.
Oh my
I want an easy journey.
When I think about it, I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about the way you said that. And don't get me, I love your mother. I love Renee. I love who she is. But she reminds me of one of those people who probably shaped you in the way that you are, where you are. Like you said, though she is a loving person, she has a sharp tongue, and she don't hold it for nobody, right? So growing up in that environment, you have to be almost an introvert to just
survive.
You know what I mean?
No shade, Mom.
No shade. But she, like I said, she is a loving person. She's a pastor, a minister now, right?
She is.
What church is she ministering at?
She's at First Baptist at Highland Park.
Highland Park, that is correct. Hey, love you. Don't hurt me. Okay.
No. But I mean, I think that's just another testament of the journey that we go on. Because if you look at her journey and being 17 and having me and going through her life situation and having to put her dreams on hold.
Right.
And, you know, I'm sure there were many
now
things.
She's living her best life.
She's living her best life.
Yes, she is.
And, you know, and I tried my every chance to celebrate her and congratulate her, because it really wasn't until during the pandemic season that she and I, you know, we're all isolated. And so I went over one day to talk with her, and I really got to hear her journey from her voice in a way that I had never heard before. And like I said, when I started out here, I was like, you have an 18-year-old who just lost her mama, got a 14-year-old sister, and an almost 1-year-old. I couldn't imagine what that life was like.
Yeah.
And she doesn't talk much about it. I don't ask a lot of questions. But I do know in her walk that she's a survivor. Yeah. I know in her walk she's taken her struggles and have turned them into triumphs, or her trials into the triumphs, or her mess into her message, and all of those things. So, so that's another why. Like I know that I have to, you know, we don't do things so other people can see it, and we're trying to people please, but we do have a sense of responsibility for those who have set the pathway for us. Now they want us to find a road on our own, no problem, but they're here with us. I wouldn't want to do anything that would disrespect her or Miss Annie or my granddad's legacy or any of those things. You know, so that's also a why. Hold your head up high, fight on. When they go low, you go high. Shout out to, you know, First Lady Obama. You know, so those are just some key principles in life that, you know, are really helpful for us.
So I envision you growing up being a pastor or a minister yourself. Just with, she's like, I don't put that on me, but
No, we all serve. A minister is a servant.
That is true.
What did Jesus do?
He ministered.
He served.
He
washed people's feet. He sacrificed his entire body.
Come on now. Yeah.
He came into the earth to help us.
Yeah.
So that's the epitome of serving.
That's right.
And giving. And so, not to say by any chance that, you know, I can do any of those things, because I'm not sure that I can sacrifice like that. But, you know, it's like...
But I'm thinking about it from a teacher standpoint. You know what I mean? While, don't get me wrong, all of those things still do matter. I think it's important that a lot of people look at the Bible as religion, right? And it's, in my humble opinion, it's not a book of religion. I think religion is something that we have put put on us, right? As humans, we have developed these rituals and these rules around, you know, God's word that doesn't exist. The Bible is instruction, right? And we have to be able to interpret that instruction, you know, and the teachers of today, we all can be, yes, for sure. I'm not one, I don't think, from a perspective of the laws and all of that. I think that is definitely something that I saw in you. I believe that you're doing it today. I'm teaching in my own way. Let me say that. I don't want to make it sound like, you know.
No, don't minimize the work you're doing, because you're definitely serving.
Yes, it's very important to me to be a servant. That's why I do what I do. I'm not one that's going to throw the Bible in anybody's face, but I'm going to live my life in a way where the light shines so much that you want to know why, how, what is it that you're doing, what's the secret sauce, and it's going to always be God and His Word. So, you know, the fact that you're a teacher, the fact that you are educating so many, you know, up and coming new nurses, that's the ministry that you are doing. So that's the segue I was getting into. So you are still showing everyone God's love. You're showing them what it looks like to be one of His precious daughters, right? So I wanted to just shine some light on what was it? I done lost my train of thought, y'all. But
that's how you know this is authentic.
You know what I mean?
Scripted.
Because it's definitely not scripted. But I just wanted to share. You know, we talked about your servitude, right? We talked about why you serve. You are definitely an encourager. You know, and with the not only just with the education, but with your words of wisdom and how you know, reach out to others. You're learning to, like you said, mold what it looks like to be a sister to someone else. And that's something that I'm working on too. And I think we need to do more of that. You and I, as sisters, we need to grow closer. And we're going to start, you know, forging opportunities and making sure that we do things together more often. Because I need you in my life. I think what you bring to the table is so unique and different than anybody else that I know. And being closer to you and being, you know, a part of what you have going on and celebrating you in the way that we're celebrating you now, I think is important to me, and I want to continue to do that. So what it looks like for me to be a sister to you and, you know, a friend is, again, me celebrating your wins. And one of those wins I want to talk about is the major grant award that you received from the was it Van Hollen?
Yep, federal earmark.
Federal earmark funding, and that I know is one of the hardest things to obtain. And you guys were able to get, I can't remember how much.
Overall, I think we got about $3 million.
Oh my goodness. So you say that so casually. $3 million.
Well, you also have to remember that in the course of my work life, I have a grants office and I have community leaders, and I partner with all of these entities. With the Montgomery County hospitals have a group called the Nexus Group. And so it's all of the hospitals that, you know, they make up their little own consortium within the county. And so we work with the Primary Care Coalition. That's another group that was involved in this grant with us. So, but yes, one of my job responsibilities is to apply for grants. There's no expectation that I win the grants, but you know, sometimes you got it like that, and you have a whole team of people around you. And that's the beauty of leadership, is that you don't have to have all the components to get something done. You just have to have the right people in the right positions, because you can have people around, but they could be mispositioned, if I can make that into a word.
That's the word. You're on the wrong seat on the bus.
You're on the wrong seat. You might not even be on the right bus.
Most times.
Sometimes you might need to be on another bus. They're not even on the
right bus.
Yes.
But if you could be on the right bus, just in the wrong seat, we just got to figure out.
We got to reshuffle the deck a little bit.
That's right.
So, and I always work with my team, whether I'm working with people in the community for a volunteer activity or if I'm working in my work world, to work off people's strengths.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is my weakness. I need to fix my weakness. I need to spend time improving myself with my weakness. And it's like, no. I need your strengths.
Right.
Because if you can operate in your strengths, you're going to be more passionate. You're
right.
going to feel invested. But if you're coming from a place of needed improvement on my weaknesses, you're already behind the 8 ball.
That's a good way to look at it.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I come to Kay and say, hey, I really I have a passion, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to help people in the community. I don't know what to do. I know you're going to have an idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And you can bring the idea, but then we might have to work together to find the money. Or we might have to work together to find the people to write it up for us.
Right.
Because I'm a numbers girl. I'm not a words girl. Right?
Gotcha.
So when I work with my grants office, I come up with the idea and then I monetize it.
Right.
And put $1 to it, make my budget, then ask my team to help me to write the narratives.
Yeah. So you just talked about one of the best practices that we can really highlight as it relates to nonprofits and work, and that's just making sure that you have the right team, that you have people who are in the right seat. A lot of times we try to do it all on our own, and when we're small and we're just getting started, we feel like we have to, but you don't have to. There's so many opportunities, there's so many resources where you can find people who are passionate, who will volunteer for your organization to make sure that you have the individuals that you need to accomplish the goal. You do not have to do it alone. You should not do it alone. You should do it with a team. Yep. And if I was to add any other advice, or let me give you a resource, there is a volunteer resource called Handshake. And these are at most of the colleges. They have this platform called Handshake. And if you sign up, you can get students who are in whatever field that you're looking to have that service provided to you through this platform called Handshake. So use it to as many as Volunteer Match is another one. Volunteer Match is another one that a lot of students you get from the different colleges who are in nursing, who need to do a practicum, or if you have business majors who you're looking for someone to help you with a business plan or program development and design. And you can find students who are at colleges and universities around the nation who can support the work that you're doing from a volunteer basis.
Yeah, and it's not always about the dollars and cents.
It's not.
Sometimes it's about the in-kind. And I love when we write grants that we talk about in-kind funds. Those are the funds that are being donated that are monetized, but we're not actually spending money on.
That's right. That's right.
So, and it's called, isn't it nice to be called in-kind?
Yes.
Yeah, not volunteer or you just gonna pay for it out of some special fund.
That's right.
I'm donating this in kind.
Yes.
Because that's what the world needs, kindness.
That is true.
And as we talk a little bit more about sisterhood, part of the piece about sisterhood is I've always connected and had more male friends than female friends.
Me too.
And what I've realized is over the years I thought that they were just really friends. Not that I found out I was putting them in the friend zone.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't realize that. I just thought I connected with guys because they didn't have no drama.
Right.
And that's the thing with sisterhood. I'm always hesitant to let new people in, new ladies in, because I don't want the drama. I don't need the gossip. I don't need the housewives, and I don't have time for all of that. I want to go to a winery, even though I don't drink wine. I want to go, and just explore nature and go on trips and things like that. But I don't want to go with somebody that's counting their pennies.
Come on now.
Like, if we're going to go and do something, let's go have fun.
That's
and
right.
if you got a penny pinch, bless your heart, going down the road. So
it's funny you say that, because a lot of times I stay out of the girl groups too, because I'm not a gossiper. I'm not one that wants to talk about what this person is doing, what their husband said, oh, look how she, look and all that.
What she got on? Child,
if I'm having conversations, I want to be talking about how we build in wealth. I want to be talking about how we gonna make that next bag. What is it we gonna do together to grow each other as individual people, and grow that bag. That's it. That's all I'm concerned about.
Right.
So.
And how can we pour into one another in ways? Because like we all bring our gifts to the table.
That's true.
And there's an old saying that says, if you want to go somewhere fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with others.
That's right.
Now that means you're not going fast when you're going with the others, because you got to link up and strategize, but because it's a process,
and you got to be held accountable,
and it's a process. I think that's something else too. We want to hold people accountable when they're doing stuff we don't like, but where's the unconditional love? And that's another piece of sisterhood. That unconditional love, no matter who you are, what you are. Can we openly talk to each other? If I've been offended or you've been offended, am I going to stop talking to you? Or when I see you, am I roll my eyes? Or am I?
And I might roll my eyes, but I'm still going to love you.
But that's the thing. Can I go to you? Do we have that boundary? Do we have that safe space? And so my granddad used to say, you have to catch a fish before you could clean it. And that's the thing with relationships. You have to first establish that relationship.
That's true.
And then if you want to challenge that person or hold them accountable, because if I don't have a relationship with a young lady and I see that she out here wilding out and I go to her, boo, you doing too much.
Right.
She's not going to pay any attention to me. No. But if I have relationship.
Right.
If we poured into each other and you found me to be trustworthy. And that's another piece of sisterhood. Am I trustworthy? Can you entrust what's going on in your world to me? Am I safe space for you to come and just be free? But it takes time to get there. So if we're talking about, the ups and downs of sisterhood, I know why I've had boundaries and barriers up before. And it's like, no one wants to be disappointed. No one wants to have their feelings hurt. No one wants to call and invite people out and then they, I would go, but and it's just like, but part of it is building that trust and letting your guard down little by little. Not saying just be open and come on, let's do it, but it's a process.
It is definitely a process. And for me, growing up the way I grew up, going from foster home to foster home, not near making any true connections, right, made it really hard for me to, in my adulthood, be trusting of anybody, whether it's male or female. But of course, we gravitate towards male because that's what's comfortable, that's what feels good. But in this journey of my life, in this stage, this season, I'm making a lot of female friends, and it's authentic, and they all have the same mindset that we're not trying to be gossiping. We we love God. We want to live for Christ. We want to grow our bottom lines. We want to grow as individuals, and we're willing to pray for each other. We're willing to stop in the middle of a work day and come on a Zoom call and pray for someone who's going through a challenge. And that's the kind of sisterhood that I seek, that I have, and I will continue to cultivate in my life. And I just pray that other women who experience the things like we have, and all of a sudden we only hanging out with guys. That's not what God has for us. There are females out here who will hold you down, will hold you accountable, who will love you, who will lift you up, who will celebrate you, and you deserve it. So
we all do.
We all deserve it.
We absolutely do. And I just know, like, I just texted you just yesterday. Like,
right.
I want to do this paint by numbers thing, So it's like, she's like, well, I'm willing to host. And I was like, well, okay, I was saying, I was going to host. Like, we literally just had this conversation on text last night.
Right.
And so it was just like, before I could even get it out good, you was like, I'm willing to host. Like,
But I'm willing to support you in it, because it's going to be something fun, and I'll be there. I'll help you, get it together, because we just want to have a good time and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. And I think one other thing before we switch off from sisterhood,
okay.
I was raised the only child. And so my next cousin on my mother's side is 6 years younger than I.
Wow.
And then my cousin on my father's side, my cousin Mike, he's Guy. He's 6 months behind me. But we weren't, we were raised together, but not in the same household. And so that's another piece of sisterhood. If you grew up with sisters, and like you said, going from foster home to foster home, just building those foundational relationships can be challenging.
Right.
And it's just like, Monique, you gonna be all right being solo? Please, 18 years of it.
Right.
But I'm very thankful. My father has 3 children, and then their mother had a son after being with my dad, and so now we call ourselves the Party of 5.
Okay.
And I have so richly enjoyed having siblings as an adult. I wish that we were together as we were growing up, but my sister is 12 years younger than I. So what kind of relationship could we have had when we were little? But the relationship we have now, we're 2 grown women. We laugh and talk about all kind of stuff. Like I said, she's 12 years younger, but whenever I got an issue, sissy, let me tell you, right? And so, and it's just nice to have people in your corner that no matter what is happening in your world, it's unconditional love. And so that does not have to just be by blood people.
That's right.
It can be by anyone that you create those relationships with.
Yeah, shout out to your bestie. I know
Mattia.
You were just on her podcast.
I was just on Mattia's podcast. And so Moments by Mattia, I think it's her plug.
That's right.
And we talked about being friends since we were 7. Since we were 7 years old.
Yeah.
And it was a connection with my grandfather. Her grandmother belonged to my grandfather's church, just like Miss Annie belonged to my grandfather's church, and we've been friends since we were 14.
That's right.
And it's not by happenstance. It's not by accident that these people are positioned in your life. Like I remember talking in the podcast with Mattia, and I was just like, there were so many things that had to happen at the right time. They aren't oopses or wow, how did that happen?
Yeah.
They were orchestrated.
Yeah.
Because God knew what we needed even before we asked.
That is so true.
And so I remember just driving one night. We were going to Six Flags, a Wild World back then. And we was both in the back seat. And the boys was in the front.
That's right.
And we was driving down Church Road. And that fool turned them lights off. Silly child. Khalilah, you know better.
You know better.
You know better. But we was all for it. We was like, oh, look how time it is.
Right.
Ain't have a care in the world. But God protected us.
Yeah, he did.
Because I be driving through Church Road now like, still ain't no lights on the street.
There still ain't no lights. But it's all
I
good.
just think about some of the things. Thank you that we didn't have cameras. And all we got is Polaroids, and we had social media and all of those pieces. And I mean, God really kept us.
Yeah.
And he, I was telling my uncle yesterday, I said, sometimes we don't know where we're going. And God told Abram, go where I show you. Yeah. And that's very uncomfortable for those of us who want to be in control and want to know the plan and give me the 12 steps and I'm going to do them and all of that. And I told him, I said, this journey of my life, I felt like Michael Jackson had a video where he was walking and the road was lighting up. I think it was off the wall. I think it was off the wall. Whatever the music video was with Michael Jackson, and he was walking in the road, and as he walked, the lights would light up. Yeah. And I said, one of my most favorite scriptures is, "Your word is a light unto my feet and a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." And I just feel like that's how it is. Even though I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what's next. Like you asked, what else you got going on and all of that. I don't know. Yeah. And that would have really scared me in the past because I had my journey all mapped out, because it say write the vision, make it plain, right? That's right. So I would write stuff out and have my goals and all of those things, and let's make a vision board and all of those things, and I've done those things. Yeah. But God has taken me on journeys that I never would have anticipated that I would be on. I literally just wanted to work in a NICU. When I was in high school, I wanted to take care of premature babies. Yeah. That was all I wanted to do, because my cousin Shayna was born with some health challenges, and she spent a long time in the NICU. Yeah. So, and then when she came home, she had a nurse at home, and I thought that was the coolest job, to take care of these little diapers and all of that. I never would have thought that I would have taken care of sickle cell patients.
Yeah, but here you are.
Here and that's a special population within itself. And it's our babies that look like us that are in horrific pain. And it's like, pain is subjective. It's what the patient says it is.
Yeah.
And you have a 12-year-old. How could they be drug seeking? Because they're in pain. And I would sit and advocate for those patients. No. You 18. Are you just looking for drugs? No. I have a blood disorder.
Right.
That clots my blood in my joints. And I'm in horrific pain. So when we talk about, being change agents, you ain't got to change the whole world. Change just the people that change you. Start there. Start there. Yeah. Be better today than you were yesterday. And that's with sisterhood. I'm not competing with you.
That's right.
And you're not competing with me because we both have giftings. And even if our giftings were exactly the same, which they would never be because we all got special fingerprints, even if your gifting was exactly the same, why couldn't I encourage you and say, atta girl, do it, let's go. But once you realize what you have is you, what I have is me, and we put it together, ain't nothing we can't do.
That is true.
And I think, we've oh, you just a woman. Whatever. Girls is running the world. Even though we got a really nice guy helping us out behind the camera. We applaud his work and all of those things, but girls is running it, honey.
Yes, we are running the world.
We're running it. We're running businesses.
I'm about to say, speaking of that, let's talk about your business.
So many years ago, I created this business. It was Alabaster Wellness Education. Okay. And I was in awe. That was the acronym. I was in awe of getting this business going. And so I used to do CPR education, first aid. I was a lactation consultant, and all of those things. So breastfeeding is best if you can do it. Not everybody can. Not everybody want to.
Right.
But there's lactation consultant, shameless plug for them to help you get your mommy milk to your baby. So so I did all of those things.
Yeah.
And over the years I was, busy with the kids and taking them to their sports and all of those things. So I kind of let my business fall to the side. I said, I'm not going to do CPR classes and stuff anymore. Okay. But I do want to bring back that wellness education. Okay. I want it because, like you said earlier, you're not sure about medicine. But there's so many complementary and alternative therapies. Yeah. Exercise, hydration, herbs. CMOS, herbs. Right. Like, it's so many things that are out here now that we were unaware of.
Pushing the plate away. Come on now.
How about just using a smaller plate? Okay. I don't want to push the plate away. I just want a smaller one.
How about a smaller plate?
I'll just do it instead of the regular 10 plate, give me the 7. And then I just, portion control.
I need the whole 10, but I'm doing better.
Why you gonna get the whole 10 and then push it away when you can just get the 7 and eat it up?
But I'm learning that I don't have to eat red meat. I don't have to eat pork. Okay. So I can add more to my plate because I'm eating my vegetables. That's right. And I'm trying to eat less starch, but I like more of the starches than anything. But just taking red meat and pork out of my diet has made a big difference. And intermittent. What she said, fasting. From 12 to 8. Okay. It's my eating window.
That's your time. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. How's that going? I never tried it.
How's it going?
Well, you was already cutie on duty, so we ain't got to worry about that, right? Yeah.
I've lost about 15.
That's what's up.
I'm on 15 pounds. Intermittent fasting. Yeah. And just taking the pork and stuff away. Okay.
So that's we talking about business and fundraising and grant money and all of those things so that we can get our dreams going.
That's right.
But you got to be healthy. Remember, I just talked about changing yourself, and it's some small changes, right? Are you doing things to help with your mental? Yeah. Are you getting enough sleep? These are things that we need to ask ourselves.
That'd be the hard part,
sleep,
because I like you said, I'm doing all these things. So I'll be up late, and then I got to get up early because I got to take care of these babies, and then the only time I have the quiet time is really at night, and I might be going to bed 12 o'clock at night. Me and the cameraman had conversations about that. We supposed to be waking up at 5 o'clock if we want to change the world and become millionaires, but we can't go to bed early enough to actually do it. But I think he actually has started getting
You
up.
said 5 o'clock? That just made
so we can go to the gym, get everything else out of the way, and then go to work. You know?
So and I got to have a gym membership too. Lord, I'm just gonna walk. That's what I'm gonna do. Give me a couple miles.
That's what I've been doing. I finally got Anime back to walking. We did one, so we're gonna get back to walking once a day.
I was on her like a hawk.
She did good. She lost 12 pounds.
She was doing good, and I told her just by walking
and
drinking water. Like you said, it's small changes,
and that turned out to be one of your passions, right? One of the things that you just love to do. You lost a lot of weight.
I did. I lost, believe it or not, I've lost 80 pounds.
Oh my God, I never seen you with all that weight.
I was 205.
I never seen you with all that weight.
You did see me with all that weight, but you just didn't realize.
I didn't realize it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I was a 12, 14. I sure was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Chico got different sizes. They got
like
something else. So it don't matter. It don't matter the manufacturer.
Right.
But yeah, so I was 205 at my biggest.
Okay.
And I remember when I was in high school, I had GI problems. I couldn't gain weight.
Come on now. Yes, we was two skinny minis in high school.
I could not. I would eat everything.
I'm a long way from high school.
I couldn't gain weight. Like I had a nutritionist before this whole new fad of nutritionists. I had a GI doctor and everything that helped with all my stuff, and I could not gain weight.
Yeah.
But over time, with the stresses of life, you got your financial stresses, you got your personal stresses, you got your marriage stresses, you got your parent stress, you got stresses that are hitting you all in different directions, work stresses.
Yeah.
And so, but during the pandemic, when everybody was putting on their pandemic weight, I was shedding mine because I was like, if I have to sit in this house one more time, so I started walking. Yeah. And I said, I'm going to walk 15, 20 minutes. Winded, thought I was going to die.
Oh, my goodness.
I couldn't even walk from the end to the block and back. And I got up to walking 3 miles a day.
Wow.
So my new goal, I sprained or tore my MCL in the fall.
Okay. Because,
we not young and spry.
Right.
And you slip one good time and it was a fall, but gracious. So I'm now back up to walking. I'm up to about 2 miles now a day. Okay. And my new goal is to still walk 3 miles, but I want to start running. Ooh. I ran track in high school.
Oh my goodness.
I want to run again.
Bless
Even
you.
if it's just the 100.
Bless you.
Just 100. I don't need to run the whole track. Let me just get to 100, right? So that's one of my huge passions.
Yeah. Is
walking because I get to experience nature better. I go outside, get some fresh air. Those are the things that help with your mental.
That's right.
You can pray while you walking. You can talk. You can meditate. That was something that we really didn't learn much about growing up.
Right.
We learned all about praying.
Yeah.
But we didn't learn much about meditating. And prayer, the way I see it is, praying is when I'm talking to God. But meditating is when I'm being quiet and I'm listening, so that I can hear and receive, or that I could just be in a posture of thankfulness, and not just saying anything. So I take that time to walk and do that. My other passion is horses.
All right now.
So I horseback ride once a week. Faithful, I go and get a horseback ride lesson. Yeah. And you know who introduced me to horses?
Who?
Annie Mae.
Oh, really?
Yes.
My mom?
Yes.
Okay.
We were little kids, and she used to take us to the horseback riding range.
Oh, okay.
The farm, she sure did.
Yeah, she ain't never take me. I'm gonna have to talk to her about that.
But we was a little older now, remember? When we was in high school. I'm talking about we were little.
I know.
Like
I'm
5 or 6.
She forgot about it when she met me, I guess.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it. Okay.
I'm sorry. But yeah, she introduced me to, and really helped me to not be afraid of horses, and we would go all the time. Yeah. And so when I was...
She's gonna go near a horse today. Or any other kind of animal.
Exactly. But that was like something I was trying to figure out. Okay, I have all of this time because one of the downs of motherhood is when your children want to hang out with their friends instead of you.
Oh my goodness.
Or they got all the activities, or now they driving, or they got, whatever, or they off to college. Yeah. And I had all this free time. Yeah. And I sat there and I said.
And you had to start realizing you got to take care of yourself now.
I was like, what am I going to do?
You got to take care of yourself now.
Do?
Yeah.
And I had a moment because Gab was literally, she's social butterfly. She was with her friends. Aaron was at college. And I just sat there and I looked at myself like, okay, I have a nice job. I have some coins in the bank. I do not have to sit here and have a pity party. Get up and do something.
Right.
So I started horseback riding again. And so I go once a week and have a formal riding lesson.
Okay.
Absolutely love it.
Where do you go?
I go to Merkle Farm. Shout out to Merkle Farm, to Kelly and Stephanie. And so it's right there by Bowie State.
Okay.
So I go there and I got to clean the horse. And I joke with them all the time because one of my other passions is self-care. I need a massage and a pedicure on the regular.
That's right.
And so I pay people to do my pedicure. I pay the farm people to do pedicures on the horses. Because I got to clean out their hooves and all the poop and everything. You took it to
another level, huh?
I'm paying them to take care of the horse.
Oh my goodness. And it's their horse.
But that's part of the lesson. You got to groom the horse and you got to get the poop out their hooves.
Oh my goodness.
All of that stuff, and then saddle them up. I know how to do all that. Put the bit in the mouth. Like, I'm so proud of myself.
Oh my goodness.
And I love the horses. And I know they know me because I always have treats.
Oh my
They love
goodness.
apples and carrots.
Okay.
So I always bring treats for them. So that's just another passion of mine.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, whenever I walk by children, they always seem to want to go with me. And then when I'm with my horses, they help calm me. And hopefully I'm helping to calm them.
Well,
so.
Speaking of passions, you know, one of mine is gardening.
Yes.
You know, I love gardening.
I told her I saw these sunflowers and I said they coming in the video because I am a sunflower lover.
Yes.
I actually made a post yesterday that said I'm just a girl in love with sunflowers.
Oh my goodness. Well, you're gonna have a whole sunflower garden in the back to come see and come. It may be a maze. I don't know if we're gonna have that much, but it'll be plenty of pickings for you to come and enjoy.
I'm super excited. So I went to a farm that's like right on the line in Montgomery County and I think Frederick County in the fall. And we had just missed the Sunflower Festival. And all the sunflowers was all burnt up and they were deceased.
Take the seeds and
I
plant
was just
some more.
like, oh, look at the sunflowers. And I don't know what it is about a sunflower, but it has always caught my eye.
Yeah, I love sunflowers. That's why the logo has one
I know.
in it.
I saw that. I said, now you know that's a sunflower.
Yes. We might update it so it actually looks like a sunflower. You don't have to think too much. You got to think too much right now.
So yeah, we're gonna have a table right here moving forward when she interview other people.
With the sunflowers.
So we can have the sunflower joy. And so she was just telling me that I could have my own garden, and I was like, girl. I got brown thumbs. Pink thumbs, not green ones. So you're gonna have to help give me some instruction.
I shall. You know, at Horseshoe Family Farm, we're gonna have lessons. We're gonna
Horseshoe Family Farm.
Yes, we're gonna have lessons. We're gonna have opportunities for people to come out and pick their own sunflowers, pick their own
Horseshoe
dahlias.
Family Farms.
Yes.
From August to October, sunflower season.
Yes. So.
Are you serious?
I am absolutely serious. Yep. So I invite you to come out, and that's
I'm
when
like,
you said,
my eyes are sweating right now.
When you said the paint party, I was like, that'd be a perfect opportunity to have an event out in the garden.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be the selfie one. We can they're painting sunflowers. So
it's not complicated.
That is coming. Yep, that is coming. So we'll have a paint party in the garden.
I'm so excited.
Yes. Well, thank you. I'm so excited. I'm just grateful that you said yes. That
No.
You told
I didn't
me,
say yes. I said,
right.
Kay, I see you got a podcast.
Right.
When's my turn? I voluntold her to have me on here.
That is so true. And I immediately said yes because I'm like, duh.
I support everything
the work that you do.
Yes.
You know who you are as an individual. You are definitely a social change maker. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. All right. So before we end, I do have to give some shameless plugs.
Okay. Let's hear.
Anybody watching the podcast and you are feeling a certain kind of way and you feeling sad and not sure where to go and all of those things, reach out to us. We might can't solve your problems. We might don't have all the answers, but we will make sure you won't go at it alone.
That's right.
Every chance that I get from now on, I'm going to be very intentional. Because our children, our women, and our men are at a higher risk now of suicide. And my life was affected by it.
Wow.
And I don't know what my calling is going to be to address that, but I do know that every chance I get, to talk to someone about it, to say that you never will be alone.
Yeah.
So I want to get a tattoo. Shameless plug. You ain't supposed to be marking your body, but it's a semicolon, and so that's a symbol that people would know that you're there to help them.
Oh, okay.
Because life goes on with the semicolon. That's not a period. It's not the end.
Yeah.
This is just where you are today. It's not a period. It's not a comma with a run-on sentence. It's just sometimes when we have sentences, we talk about something, but, and that negates everything before it. So, you know, if you're alone, you don't even have to be thinking about harming yourself. You can just be alone and just need somebody to talk to, or just a friend, you know.
How can they reach out to us?
Well, you all on all the platforms,
but
so
I didn't put that out there. She did, right? So
I sure did. If you need me, whatever, we're gonna figure out how to do that, and we'll make sure we put it in all the links and everything. Gotcha. Because you know, just knowing that you have someone that you can connect with, and don't even have to be us.
Sounds
we can
like
put an emergency line on or something.
That's what I was about to say. Sounds like we're gonna share some call, some 811. What's it called?
It's a 411 is information.
But we got.
We'll figure all of that out, and they'll be in the little captions or something. But you know, you're never alone.
Yes, that is so true. And don't take I'm just playing with her.
No. You may be by yourself.
You
may be by yourself, but you are never alone.
That's right.
And that was something that the Lord really helped me with, because I was feeling awfully alone.
Oh, okay.
But I was not alone. I was never alone. Yeah. I was just by myself.
That's right.
And I needed to sit in it and learn how to enjoy life by myself.
Yeah.
Which is a total difference than being alone. So you never be alone.
You're not alone.
Number 2, shameless plug. If you looking for a job or helping or volunteering or whatever, Kay got it.
Oh my gosh.
She got all the answers. I'm telling you, like I came over here. I had a situation. I brought my cousin over here, and she told me A, B, C, D. These are options, and it wasn't just this one option. And if you're interested in doing anything in college, or it don't have to be healthcare related, please know I can definitely connect you and get you in the right road.
That's right. So
you may be by yourself, but you're never alone.
We still need your contact information though. So you want to share with them what your contact information is?
Yes, my email.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, Monique Monique Alston Alston Davis Davis @gmail.com.
And that will be on the screen as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't worry about it. They'll have a link there.
So I can help you out if you need a job. I'm surely, make sure that you, get the information that you need for Employ Prince George's. They're one of our partners in the workforce development space. And, like she said, when people come to us all the time, can you do this? Can you do that? We've got resources throughout the Prince George's County. So we definitely can support you. That's my nonprofit that we're talking about, and that's the Denney House. And you can always find us on the web at www.thedenneyhouse.org, and Denney is spelled Denney. So for sure. Yeah. And if you're looking for someone to help you start up your business, you want to incorporate in your state, and you want to start a nonprofit, Denney's Consulting is the place to be. We can help you with your organizational documents, your bylaws, as well as your first organizing meeting to solidify those bylaws. So you're looking for that support, that is Denney Consulting, Denney'sConsulting.com, DENNEYS Consulting.com.
So you too can be a social change agent, and again, it starts with you. Change starts within. It's intrinsic. Yeah. And then let your light shine.
For sure. So that's what I was gonna ask. Like, if you wanted to leave us with any words, that was one of them. So now you got to come up with another one. No,
I'm just telling you, just sitting here, right here in this moment. Over the last 2 weeks, God was just telling me, trust me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about who comes and goes. Don't worry about their motives and their intents. Yeah. Don't worry about if they're good or bad for you. Trust me. Yeah. I have the hedge of protection around you. People will get in who belong, and people who don't will go away. Right. And, one thing I'm probably going to have to figure out how to copyright is, you may be by yourself, but you're not alone.
That's right. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you heard it here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Social Changemakers Podcast. Please subscribe, hit that like button, share this with someone, and comment below if you like this content. Until next time, Social Changemakers Podcast signing out.